Okay. When hardworking waitress Charlotte is offered money to marry the insufferable bachelor Brandon Maxfield, it's hard to turn down, but even harder to keep from actually falling for him. The wrong girl can sometimes be the right one. I'm reading The Mischieveous Mrs Maxfield by Ninya Tippett on Wattpad. It's a funny, witty, coming-of-age story about love, friendship, and everything in between. So let's go. A series of little accidents besieged me. While I wasn't the queen of subtlety myself, I would at least be smart enough not to be so obvious about sabotaging someone unless the point was to make it known that they are being sabotaged and hope that it would be enough to send them packing. First, there was the cranberry punch someone spilled on my back on their way to their table before the ceremony started. It splashed on my hair, shoulders, and back because I was seated when the person stumbled past me. Brandon jumped out of his seat, grabbing a tablecloth to dry me, but I simply groaned under my breath and calmly dried myself. I didn't know at that time that these little accidents I was about to have weren't very accidental after all. Thanks to fate, their plan to send me up the stage with a giant red stain on my dress was thwarted by the fact that I was already wearing a red dress. Someone should have brought a different color of Kool-Aid. Since my bun was quite soaked and I didn't have time to run to the powder room to fix the mess before I was called up on stage, I just unpinned my hair and shook it loose. My dark blonde hair tumbled in wild, springy waves around me. The spackle that held it together was coming apart from the moisture. And the most I could do with it was tousle it quickly with my fingers so I didn't totally look like a science project on static electricity or one made of plaster of Paris. Brandon reassured me that I still looked great with that bedhead after a night of heavy sex effect. I snorted and told him I didn't really relish to have everyone speculate on my nocturnal activities. It felt oddly voyeuristic. Anyway, on my way to the stage, someone accidentally dropped their gooey custard cake on the ground just as I was about to take a step forward. I either had to stick my foot in the mush or lose my balance and break an ankle. I winced at the mess, but tried to keep walking. Whatever was on that custard though, sure as hell wasn't caramel. Probably some kind of amber-colored epoxy because my shoe kept sticking as I took a few more steps forward. People were waiting impatiently for me to make it to the stage and were craning their necks to see why I was taking so long. I kept a smile on my face as I limped my way over. Frustrated, I finally slipped off my strappy heels, balancing myself with one palm on the ground with my bum in the air. Thank God my dress had a couple of inches to spare on the hemline, or I would be flashing all these people my goods. As soon as the shoes were off, I grabbed them and practically sprinted to the stage to get my certificate. Yes, barefoot. There was a puzzled hush when I came to take my certificate from Leila, who was handing them out. A murmur of mixed amusement and disapproval rippling through the audience. This was tricky. Everyone who was invited here today was either associated to a championate by family or romantic ties, or an important current or prospective benefactor the society was trying to secure for this year's projects. I could make or break the group's future with what I do or don't do next. I caught sight of Brandon's face. He was frowning as he had started to rise from the seat. Stand back, white knight. Damsel's got balls. Or whatever similar metaphor there is that's more anatomically correct. I smiled my most brilliant smile and shrugged my shoulders, lifting my shoes for everyone to see. My Granny Ferris always said, "Why wear high heels to reach high when you can run barefoot, take off, and fly?" Boom.